I used to think I'd live my whole life without surprising myself. I thought I would never be the type of person who would do something and think, hey, that wasn't like me, or I can't believe I just did that. The same went for tests and grades. I was never surprised by how well or poorly I did. I never underestimated or overestimated myself. But that day, after school, I surprised myself. Shortly after the new school year started, a couple of guys in my class started harassing another boy. They were probably venting their anger about having worked hard to enter a public college preparatory high school, to then only end up in the non-advanced class in our second year. I understood their feelings, but I couldn't sympathize with them. The victim of their bullying sat in front of me. Although I didn't intentionally avoid making friends, I spent a lot of my time in class reading, and I didn't go out of my way to get involved with people. But I couldn't stand watching a decent guy suffer right in front of me. What's the point of doing that? I finally asked them one day when they were up to their usual antics. The whole classroom went silent. The ringleader turned around and sneered at me. That was the moment I became their new target. Figures, I thought indifferently. Everything up to that point was fine. I couldn't have cared less about the childish horseplay, baseless rumors, or scornful jeers. They must have gotten bored when I ignored them, because they eventually shifted their focus back to the other boy. This time, they did things more discreetly. I heard they even extorted money from him. Not long after, he started skipping school. I told them to cut it out. I didn't raise my voice, but I was angry. Fine, do one thing for me and I'll stop, the ringleader said. I told him I would. I knew it was going to be bad, but his order was like something a junior high schooler would ask for. Go tell Maori Hino in Class 1 you like her. Today, he said. That day after school, I stopped her in the hall. I asked her to go behind the school with me, as instructed, and did what he'd asked while he secretly watched. I figured I'd explain it to her later and apologize. We can date, but only under 3 conditions, she said. I never imagined she'd go along with it. She raised her fingers one by one, listing off each condition. I was so shocked. I could hardly talk. I'm sure the guys who were watching were equally stunned, too. I didn't know much about Hino. She was in the advanced class. Apparently a lot of guys thought she was hot. I'd heard a couple of my classmates talking about her before. I took a better look at her. She was beautiful, sure, but she didn't mean anything to me. If I said no to her conditions, she probably would have flipped her long black hair, said, fine, we'll pretend this never happened, and walked off. I wonder if it would have been better to just let everything end neatly. Okay. My voice didn't sound like my own. That was my first thought. My second thought was, why did I just say that? I couldn't believe what I'd just done. She could probably tell that I hadn't meant it when I said I liked her, but her tense expression suddenly relaxed, and to my surprise, she smiled. Okay, so starting tomorrow, we're girlfriend and boyfriend, she said before turning around and starting to walk away like her business was done. Then she paused and turned back with a faint smile that looked natural but not eager, like a true reflection of her personality. By the way, what was your name? Could you tell me again? It's Tooru Kamiya. Oh, I remember now, that's right, it's Tooru. I'm Maori Hino. Let's talk tomorrow after school. And one more thing, I would really appreciate it if you could keep the fact we're dating to yourself. Well, bye. She smiled again and walked off. This time she didn't look back. The group of bullies who'd been hoping to watch me be rejected came out of their hiding spot looking disappointed. What the hell's wrong with you? Said the ringleader, who I'm sure had been waiting for the perfect chance to laugh at me. I just did what you told me to, I replied simply. The atmosphere grew ominous. He glared at me and snorted, then walked past me, banging into my shoulder as he went. The other guys looked like they wanted to say something, but silently followed him instead. I watched them go, then turned in the direction Hino had left in.